Welcome back to Dr. Joe's Dojo. Today we will practice our Qigong and soft Tai Chi. I will try something a little different. Just follow me on the Qigong and I will try to clue you when you should be breathing in and out. Try to take fairly deep breaths, and you'll see that it's pretty natural that when you're moving away from your core, your ribs expand, and that's the time to breathe in. If you can belly breathe, do so. Are you ready? Let's go. Reach for the ceiling. Breathe in. And out. Going to turn our heads. Rotate the neck. Breathe in and out. In, 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 out, 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 In, out. 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 Get the idea? Now let's do it our regular way. Mabu, two fists, and we're going to push out on both. Push out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Short close stack. Push. Back to the front. Short close stack. Push. Breathe in and out. In and out. Big bow staff. Breathe in and out. Bow staff. In and out. Remember the empty step if you have to, or lift it up if you can. empty stab, or lift. And you can breathe in, out, in, out, side kick, front kick, and back kick. Two fists, rotate, big deep breath, and out. In, out, in, and out. I'll do again. This is our fist and palm. Babu, fist and palm. Breathe in and out. In and out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, in, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Mabu. One hand punch. In, out. 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 In, and out. Massage your nose and your eyebrow. Further out your eyebrows. Temple. Back of your skull, down your neck, lump behind your ear, jaw joint. Web between your thumb and first finger. And the other side. Chest massage gently. Do most of your breathing through your nose if you can. I can't because I'm talking to you, so my mouth has to be open part of the time. Now reverse. Big circles first. And small circles. Part your hair and massage the muscle in the upper part of your back. And the other side. No breathing coordination needed here. Now lift one leg, reach for the ceiling, breathe in and out. Other side, lift the leg, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Open stance. Hands on your low back. Rotate. Breathe in. Back to the front. Breathe out. Breathe in and out. In and out. In and out. Breathe in, out. In, out. In, out. In and out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, in, out. Soft Tai Chi. Stretch. And down. Step out. Open. Shift the weight to that right foot, right hand small ball on the top. Part the horse's mane. Left hand on the top, part the horse's mane. Right hand on the top, part the horse's mane. T-step. Toe step. White crane spreads its wings. Brush knee. Heel step. Play the loop. Toe step. Repel the monkey. All the weight on the right foot, small ball, right hand on the top. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Rotate to the front. Left hand on the top. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Drop the right hand, rotate to the front. Make that claw hand. Single whip. Drop the left hand. Clouds. Step together once. Step together twice. And step together the third time. This time, make the claw hand and single whip. T-step. Pat the horse on the neck. Toe step. Right heel kick as best you can. Punch ears. Rotate. Left heel kick. Best you can do. Claw hand. Snake creeps down. Rooster stands on left leg. Claw hand. Snake creeps down. Rooster stands on right leg. Shuttle. T-step, toe step, needle on the bottom of the seat. Fan back. Overhand punch. Piston punch. Appears closed. Rotate to the front. Closing. Thank you all. Did you get a little bit of the breathing? It really needs to be done through your nose if you can. Of course, you can't talk when you're trying to breathe through your nose only. Anyway, comments and questions, please. Thank you for all of you who have watched this and done this with me. It should be on YouTube by tomorrow. And we'll see you next session. Thank you.